Hey y'all, we're back. Hey guys, yeah, this is the mumbling editor back in your face. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah, we try to have fun in these studios and stuff, just chilling, having a good old time. Now we're going to have a good time by tracking in this graphic into this scene. So let's go ahead and select that on our timeline. Let's do a little trim here. Let's trim this on back. Trim it on back. Come on there. Come on. And then drag it onto the other layer. And let's jump into this batch by double clicking on the batch. That took me right into the action because that's where I last was. If not, and you're in here, just click on the action, hit the tilde key, yay! And then here we are. If you've been following along, we've got this all put together and stuff. So I'm just going to control and lasso click all that. If I hit the H key, that's going to hide that. Now I can just see my scene. We have this access node connected to the footage. I'm going to go into the node bin for action, pull out another access node, shift, kiss, both of those, double click on that, and that brings us our access 6, access 6. That's what we're working on right now. Let's go ahead and click on tracking. We're going to come to the very beginning of this shot. And then let's take a look at the tracking node here. So this access, this is something that you can like scale things. You can rotate things. It's just basically DVE, 2D transform within action. So, and it's way more than that because it's got this great tracker built into it. Click on the tracking tab. We can go into track, stabilize, or planar tracking. We're not going to go into either of those, but we are going to track. We just need a single point track on this. So if you needed multiple points, you can click on rotation, scale, and you can have also the skew and perspective to be able to track to that. So we're going to be tracking the result camera, use media, number 1, which see this little 1 right here, that's the media that's connected to. If you had multiple medias in here, you'd have a slider to be able to select what you needed. So here's like media 3, media 1, media 2 is actually not available right now because it's something that we deleted out earlier. So we're going to use media 1. We're going to click on enter tracker. And here we are. We're at the very beginning of the shot, and here's our tracking position. Looking here, we can see that there's all these, they're basically tracking marks, these little red paints on all these trees and stuff. Let's go ahead and try to track to one of those. I'm going to go ahead and zoom on out, and the way I'm doing that is control space bar. That zooms out. I just click and drag to the left, drag to the right, zooms out. If I hold down space bar, it gives me a hand to scale around. So I'm just going to zoom back out. Going to grab this tracking point right here. Let's see how it tracks. We're going to choose forward, and then you can click on the tolerance. You can leave it at 100. Depending on your tracking, you might need to drop that down or not. To get a first track in, I'll just leave everything to the standards just to kind of see what we do here. So let's click analyze, and then we can watch it. Let's watch that tracking point to see if it kind of drifts while it's tracking through this whole shot. You can kind of see it. Is it holding on? Yeah, it looks like it's holding on right now. Yeah, it looks like it's holding on pretty good there. This is real time. I'm not speeding this up or anything. This is a pretty quick track for, a pretty long shot. It held on to that the whole time. Looking back, scrubbing back through it, it's holding on to that pretty dang good. So now what we can do is hit return. So let's go ahead and detach that. We're going to lasso select all these. We're going to unhide them. And then I'm going to use this as my master tracker. Let's go ahead and name that. Not that. I want to name the access node. So master MST tracker. So there. Now we know that that's our full-blown tracking right there. Hold down shift, kiss those two accesses, and now it's all married together. And see how it's tracking right to that tree. So now that is absorbing our tracking data and keeping movement in. Obviously, it's not a very good comp right now because the shot is coming towards us and that CG is just staying there. I want to make the CG appear that it's coming down the way there. So let's go ahead and slide this on up, grab another access node. And then I'm going to hold down Shift, then click on into there, hold down Shift, click it on into there too. Okay, just do this. There we go. Okay, so with this node, we're going to use it to kind of scale this on in. So we're going to slide on down to kind of where we kind of want it to be. We're going to go into Auto Key, and I'm going to click Enter onto there. That's going to set a keyframe. Go to the end of my shot, and then just kind of zoom it up and see what that's looking like. So scrubbing along, it's kind of coming towards us. You know, it looks like it's kind of drifting over to the right. You know, I'm not really a big fan of that. You know, if we hide this whole element, I'm kind of keeping my eye on this background here, on where it is in the actual camera shot, and it drifts a little bit. So I want to kind of mimic that drift. So what we could do is create another tracking point. There we go. Double click on that. We're going to hide all this. Double click on our access, snap to the beginning. There we go. And then going into their tracker, we just need a 1-point track again. Let's go ahead and find a tracking point down here. Man, let's just see if we can track onto that. See what that looks like. We're going to do forward, click analyze. Okay, so it's kind of tracking that tree very well. We could have selected those branches right there, and that might have been enough contrast for that tracker, but we ended up going with that, and it actually held pretty good, it looks like. So let's go ahead and see what this is going to look like now. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. For what we're doing, I kind of want a twitchy, weird kind of a movement on this. Seeing that kind of dancing around there and stuff. So that's going to work out just fine for our purposes here. If you need it to be a little smoother, you might actually need to connect in this access here, and then kind of go on in through here and do, maybe instead of tracking it, I would have just gone through and done like a slight manual track. You know, just adding some keyframes here and here and here and here and whatever, and just kind of manually moving it around with auto key on, just kind of give it a smoother look for what I was intending for this. And if this is a full-blown job, like, you know, I'd spend a couple hours on this trying to track this in proper, like, but for this tutorial, you probably don't want to be sitting here for a couple hours watching someone track something. So we're moving on. That's how we can kind of get that tracked in nicely. That's gonna look good. All right, guys, in the next video, let's take a quick little look at what we're going to be doing. So back in our original edit, we've got that key in there, and then it transitions to this next key. We're going to show you how to create that second key in the woods. So scary. And how to create this little transition of it just kind of jumping on in and blurring around and whatnot. We'll do that transition in the next video, guys. While we're here, check out my band, Fade to Black. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, everything else.